are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Good, good. Thanks for asking. So, has anything new happened since the last time that we've spoken?
Me and my husband are still on the same boat. Nothing has changed. We still argue.
Okay, so in our last session, you stated that you're having issues in your marriage and you're not getting enough support from your husband. How is this situation going?
It's the same. We still argue constantly, and he doesn't help me. All he knows how to do is ask for help, and he doesn't realize all the help that he really gets. Um, I'm overwhelmed, and I have no time for it.
If I remember clearly, last time you were here, you stated that you never tell him how you feel. Have you done so recently?
No, I never talked to him. I guess since he's mad, I never have time to talk to him. And I think I need to talk to him now because if I don't, my marriage is going to be ruined.
Okay, so I think we can both agree that the primary issue that we have here is that you and your husband are having trouble understanding one another. Another issue is you're very overwhelmed and always tired because you're not getting enough rest. What do you think? Is this accurate?
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to share with me? Anything about any issues, other issues you and your husband might be having?
No, I kind of came here today because I want to find a way to get my husband to understand me. I want him to understand that my job is overwhelming and that taking care of a 2-year-old is overwhelming. And I need his assistance. I need him to help me so I can have some time for myself because I have too much on my plate right now.
So I think we've agreed that the primary issue that we'll be addressing in our work together, let's just review them just so we can refer to them as we go along. First, there's the issue of the lack of support from your husband. Second, we have the issue that you're not getting enough rest. Can you agree that this is an accurate list of the issues we should focus on together?
Yes, I feel sad. I feel depressed because my life is a big mess. I'm confused and I don't know what to do.
Right here, right now with me, you seem to be feeling sad and stressed. I wonder if maybe if we establish a goal in relation to those feelings of sadness and loss, we could better fix your guys' issues that you guys are having. So let's imagine that we're in the future. At some point, what would you say would indicate you receiving support from your husband?
Well, my ideal life would be to come home and cook, not have to worry about my son, and be able to do like a couple house responsibilities on my own without the baby. Like I have all my household responsibilities, and then I'm also taking care of the baby, and that's just overwhelming. So I think my husband would begin to understand that, and maybe he'd watch the baby a couple hours a day, maybe 2 hours a day or something.
So you're very overwhelmed because your husband isn't helping you. You expect more from him as the other adult in the household. As you see it, the first goal we've identified is to have a better communication with you and your husband in order to receive more support. Is this correct?
Yes.
You stated earlier that you have too much on your plate. Do you think you're taking in too many responsibilities? I know that you're trying to finish school, but do you think maybe you should be taking one class since you're working full time? Because I know, taking a lot of classes and working could be very overwhelming.
Well, I'm currently taking 3 classes, and the reason being, I feel like if I don't take these classes now, I'm never gonna finish, and I'm just gonna be in school forever. So
Okay, I understand that you want to finish school, but maybe right now you shouldn't be rushing through it. Do you think it would be better for the time being that you take one class at a time? Since you, have these new roles?
what you're saying makes sense. I guess I never really thought about it. Maybe lately I am taking too many classes. Um, I would feel better rested if I were only taking one because I definitely have a lot of weight off my shoulders. I think I need to find like a routine or schedule for myself. Maybe stay focused.
So for the first goal, you want to communicate better with your husband about how you feel and the support that you need from him. You stated earlier that you want to practice how you would talk to him. That's something that we could do at the end of our session today. So the next time that we meet, you have talked to your husband and you'll tell me about it.
Okay.
So the next goal is to get you on a routine. What would be the first step to achieve this goal?
I think I prefer to write down what type of routine I would like to have. I don't think I could talk about it because I just too many things. I won't even remember everything. I think I'm better at writing those type of things.
So for your second goal, you should get a planner and log your daily activities. What would be a good time for you to get to bed so that you could feel well rested?
I think by 10 p.m.
Okay, and what time do you wake up each morning?
I wake up at 7:30.
Okay, that sounds like a good time. I want you to know that it's very healthy for you to get a good night's sleep. The average person should be sleeping a minimum of 8 hours daily.
Well, currently it's very difficult for me to get 8 hours of sleep. Probably get like 5.
I'm sure once we get you on a routine schedule, you'll be able to better do this. So on your planner, you're going to stop all of your activities by 7 p.m. so that you could get home and have an hour or two to yourself before you go to bed.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
So for your first goal in getting your husband to better understand you, you told me earlier that you wanted to talk to him, but you didn't know how to approach him or what to say to him. Is this something that you'd like to practice with me?
Yes, that would be great. I think it would definitely help me.
Okay. You stated that you wanted to explain to him that you're very overwhelmed and that you want him to help you watch your baby 1 to 2 hours a day, correct?
Yes.
Do you know what your husband's reaction is going to be like?
No, I've never talked to him about this situation, so never even mentioned it to him. I really don't know how he'll react.
Eileen, I want you to know that communication is very important in order to keep a relationship stable. If you never told your husband how you felt, he probably doesn't know how you feel. So proper communication is very important.
I guess I really never thought of it that way, but it does make a lot of sense. Thanks for sharing this information.
So the objective for your first goal will be to report that you and your husband are talking at least 3 times per week about your household and parental responsibilities. Do you think this is something you'll be able to achieve by our next meeting?
Yeah, I think I could at least bring it up.
Okay, so the objective for our second goal would be to put aside 1 to 2 hours every Sunday to plan the following week. You'll begin your day by 7:30 a.m. and you'll end it by 7 p.m. So that way you have time for yourself before bed, as we discussed. So the next time that we meet, if possible, I would like to see your planner just to see, what you have filled out so far.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. I'll do that.
So during our work together, I think it's important for us to practice your communication skills in order to help, better explain to your husband how you feel so that he could understand you. I think we should meet 2 times a week so that we could begin to work on these skills. As we improve these skills, we'll cut down to our meetings to be once a week. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Sounds good.
So we'll practice your communication skills and we'll review your planner just, to make sure that you're on routine. So the first step that you'll take is to talk to your husband by the next week that we meet. We'll keep track of your progress towards your goal by keeping a log of the frequency in which you communicate your feelings towards your husband.
I also wanted to mention I want to graduate on time, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that with all this going on. I don't know if that's...
Okay, well, let's hold on to that thought so that we come back to it later. Let's complete our plans for today first, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
So one of the steps that we've identified is to express to your husband how you feel and that you're very overwhelmed and stressed. Now, can you think of when and where would be a good time to speak to him?
I probably have to talk to him in our bedroom before I go to sleep. That's kind of like the only time I'm waiting on.
Okay, so in the bedroom, let's assume I'll be the role of your husband, and let's imagine that it's tomorrow night. So what would you say to him?
I say, Robert, I know you're a little afraid of taking care of the baby, but I kind of need you to start practicing because I need your help. I'm starting to feel very overwhelmed, and I want us to share responsibilities in the household.
Okay, so I'm going to be your husband in this role. Well, I think that's a good idea. In what way should I help with the baby?
Well, when I come home and I cook or something, maybe if you take the baby off for a bike ride or do something alone with him, I could cook in peace.
Okay, well, I can do that. You just have to show me how.
Okay, I think we can work on it together.
Okay, thanks, Eileen. I really see that you really, care and love your family. How does it feel practicing?
It went good. It was smooth. I feel a lot better. I think my husband will understand me. I'm ready to tell him.
Okay, so how do you think your husband will respond to your words?
I don't know, but similar to our scenario, I think.
That's exactly what you want, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel when you realize that your husband will be understanding and wanting to become a better husband and father?
I think I'll be more calm and I'll be more at ease. Feel great. Can't wait till tomorrow.
Okay, so in our work together, we identified the issue of communicating with your husband and creating a routine for you to be organized. We plan to help you communicate effectively and how you'll report that by doing so. You'll also keep a log to see the progress as we go along. You'll have an agenda in which you jot down all of your activities in order for you to have a more organized routine. We're going to meet for the next 2 months to work on this together.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so next session. Hi, Eileen. So the last time that we spoke, you agreed to speak to your husband about the agreement you guys had to communicate with each other. If you recall, we went through the process of visualizing the conversation. How did that work out for you?
It worked out great. He was very understanding and supportive. I feel a lot better.
That's awesome. So it was truly effective in, laying it all out for him, right?
Yes, it really worked.
Wonderful. Now, is there anything else regarding your guys' communication that we should, work on to get better?
No, it worked just fine. I like it. It was great.
I definitely agree. Let's just keep the communication flowing. That way, Robert could help you while taking care of the baby.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, so I'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
All right.